Hey guys, a video on the S&P 500. I mean, just my thoughts on how we're gonna start next week and how maybe next week is gonna play out. There is still no sign of de-escalation. Now the Houthis in Yemen also have launched missiles to Israel, so maybe they're gonna block this strait. Then it's even worse, like oil price would even go up more. Apart from that, I'm still staying with the thesis that we are very oversold on all time frames up until the weekly. Even the daily is now in oversold. Weekly, not yet. Weekly still has got some room, but there is no must that the weekly also needs to get there, okay? I think if it decides to move into the $6,100 area here, then the weekly will get there probably. But because it's so oversold on the 4 hourly, on the daily, I'm expecting, maybe tomorrow will open red, but we need to get a green week, I think. Also, just statistically, we have so many red weeks in a row. Even if we don't get a bounce, just a sideways, at least a sideways week, a green candle, I think, is due. But for this, we need some news on some de-escalation or some news on like the strait being more open or whatever. Okay, so keep an eye on Truth Social, and then we will really have to wait and see, because there is really no level that I can give other than here, this area, and then this one is again a strong one. It's the 0.382 fib, it's the gap of this weekly breakout candle, and it's the point of control of this larger range, and also like this range here. So this is really the only level that I can give here currently locally. Would be good if we can somehow get above this point of control and then hold it again. That would be strong. Okay, tomorrow is also the last day of the month, so the monthly close is gonna happen. Maybe it's gonna force its way above this point of control and close above it. That would also be really good. Okay, to close the monthly at least above this point of control. So that's the things that I'm looking at. Other than that, this one is maybe an interesting one. I don't use moving averages or like other lines. I just have the 20 EMA always on my chart. The monthly is here. We are below on the weekly, I think. Yep, we back tested it now, and this is just maybe an additional level that I can give to, is at 6,240. Will obviously move up a little bit here, I think, on April 1st. And then I have some articles here about the meeting between Trump and the Chinese president is confirmed to be in May. I think what is happening in the Middle East is hitting China maybe a little bit with like fuels, oil supplies. Not hitting them yet, because I think China is well prepared and China is strong enough to survive a period like this, but it's definitely making it harder for them a little bit. I think going into conversation with the Chinese president and going to China for this wouldn't be good if the war is still like going on like this. So maybe, I don't know, I'm just thinking they might want to end it before this date happens. And then other than that, I have two articles on February 10th this year. Trump announced a trade deal with India, 500 billion purchases of US energy, information, communication technology. So this is not something that would be paid on this date itself. It is something that will be paid like over the following months, years. So I think this money will also still flow into the stock market and into the US. Together with that, we also have a similar deal last year with Saudi Arabia, also investing in nuclear corporation, AI, data, tech, blah blah blah. Okay, so with these things in mind, I mean, these are huge deals. These are, yes, signed. I think I'm trying to think like this war, if it continues, these deals will collapse, and that's not something I think the US wants, because they need the money, they need the investment. They always have got a lot of foreign investments. So I don't know. Also, the charts then, at least on the up until the daily, it's looking for a need of a bounce. So let's see. My thesis is then maybe Monday we start red, and then we need some good news. We will get at least an attempt to move higher, I think, here before moving here. If we're gonna move here straight, I think it has to happen like on Monday, like straight dump it. I don't know, the other straight would also have to be close, or something mad would have to happen, and do like a very crazy candle to the downside. But then that could also be, yeah, the low. That would be then something like this, or in Corona, like a really sharp dump. Bitcoin is going greenish now again. Not too bad, actually. There is some additional news that came over the weekend, the Houthis in Yemen, etc. But Bitcoin is not really falling. Yep, it fell down the past few days here. Again, the weekly closes today for Bitcoin. Would be maybe cool if we can get above this point of control and close the weekly above that. And then we still have oil. Yeah, this is the only level that I still have here, the point of control at 102.62. And if we fail to show resistance there, this might also again do a spike to around, yeah, this is the first level that I can give, the 1-to-1 taken from this move to this move. Okay, if this is gonna be an ABC, we could maybe find resistance there, but it can easily go higher. Okay, it really depends on the news. Yep, sometimes you really need to focus on the news and what's going on as well, because it has major impacts on the markets. Technical analysis, yeah, I think I said often enough that Nvidia needs to correct and that it would take the stock market down with it, probably, to take these lows. We finally did it. So now as well here, yeah, we're gonna see if we can get a reaction here. If we don't, we'll have to focus on, yeah, this area 150 to 155. With that, I think then if this happens, the S&P will also push towards this area at 6,100. Okay. Nasdaq also oversold. Maybe I can give another level here, but nope, there is really none. We have the next few FIB targets here. This one at 22,900, 23,000 is maybe interesting. Okay, and then here as well. If you want a good week, we need to get above this point of control again, similar to the S&P. And then if we don't show any strength, next up is similar to the S&P, the 382, together with this point of control and this one here, probably something like this. So yeah, let's see. I'm very curious. It's gonna be hectic again, so brace for impact, I guess, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.